There we go. That's what we need. We needed the sound. What's up, Wasabi? What's up, Steve? Not a console gamer, so for me it's hard to say. Let me adjust the screen too, right here. Just working on my setup here because I am going to be pretty much filming at the same time. This is just more or so behind the scenes. So if anyone's doing a PC build, definitely feel free. I'm really excited because now we got this 270K. I hope you guys enjoyed that weird stream I had a bit earlier. I know it's something YouTube made me do, reacting to tornadoes about that. So we got the 270K in hand. Here it is. And definitely excited to really open it up. Here it is in the back of the case. It might be a little bit tough to see, but we're definitely going to see how this is going to be in a Gigabyte Z890 Aorus here. What's up, Ahmed? Great to see you there. And I'm going to grab some of the stuff I got in the closet that's just been waiting. Some of you guys that's been part of the channel knows exactly how long I had this Z890 motherboard. This Gigabyte Aorus Master deserved a wonderful processor to go in there. And I'm pretty much setting up my camera at the same time, making sure I got plenty of memory that is in there so it can be ready to go here. Hopefully you guys were very excited to see how well this 270K does perform comparatively to, especially to a lot of AMD processors. I know a lot of people are curious about how well does it really hold up against something as big as like the 9800 X3D, and pretty soon we do have the 9950 X3D too that's going to end up coming out soon. PC build, feel free. Nah, maybe last year at this point we deleted the term. Yeah, tell me about it. There's always charge, it seems like, when it comes to PCs. Man, Waffle Skaters should have seen how crazy that stream was a bit earlier. I know, hopefully Wasabi got to see some of that. This gen of consoles was, I agree, 100%. I agree that this whole console, I do, somewhat good news, RAM is going down. Oh, it's going on now. That's the stream. So the Ultra 270K at Newegg, but they want 350, and that's the problem. A lot of these retail stores, Newegg's like one of those few that's still charging $349.99. Hopefully they do fix up the pricing. Micro Center dropped down the pricing back down to $329, I believe, or $319.99, I believe. It's either one of the two, but it's definitely cheaper compared to Newegg. Amazon, it's completely delisted as of now because they don't have any 270Ks available. But I am excited to share this with you guys, which is the 270K, which I'm going to explain about what this processor's about. And as I get my camera ready here, I'm just pretty much setting up, making sure I got plenty of memory in here, plenty of storage, so that way we can get plenty of beautiful shots there. Get the 270K up close, sitting nicely inside of a Gigabyte motherboard here. So right now, I just got to clear my memory cards because that's going to be important. The only thing you missed was this weird stream I did a little bit earlier on YouTube. I think you would have probably ended up getting a kick out of it. It was pretty funny, I gotta say, comparatively, because I was actually doing a reaction stream along with with the PC talk that I usually do. But it was with a tornado, ironically. How it was apparently towards the whole, like, Kansas area, Illinois. Let me see. Gotta format these cards. Make sure you never format unless you absolutely have to format, which I know I'm going to have to do on a PC build. And, of course, the recorder. So let's clear this out. All right, so that's good. At least those items are pretty much ready to go. Batteries are nice and charged. You know the big jump in SSDs? I might as well bring my mouse right here. So, you know the big jump in SSD prices? When you went to Micro Center website last stream, my Micro Center pricing was still cheaper. Then for about a day, then it updated. Wow, really? Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Oh, yeah, yeah, me too. Me too, Redicover. It's just serious. It's seriously terrible. Obviously, if you have a PC, during that type of weather, that's the first thing you gotta save. You gotta put that somewhere really safe. Put it underground. That's what happens in tornadoes. Otherwise, it's just gonna end up getting sucked right in. Especially thousands and thousands of dollars worth of RAM now, or I should say SSDs, because SSDs have gone up dramatically in pricing. Let me move this back over here. And then I'm going to get more into the main shot. So that way we can talk a little bit. I still got to plug in my desk. Now you guys are probably familiar with this desk here where we do all our wonderful PC builds. Actually, let me change around my mic here. So just that way it's a bit more clear. There we go. So let me know how the mic sounds. Hopefully it's nice and clear. I know it's a bit of a distance. The good thing is, even though it's a bit of a distance, it's directional mic, so it should be technically able to hear me pretty well, even though it's a bit further. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Intel Core i7-270K, which is going to be quite exciting to install into a Gigabyte motherboard, which I'm just about to pull out here. So, hey, I just discovered you. I've been looking for people to do collabs with. What kind of collaboration are you looking for, Rhino? So let me actually pull out my motherboard here, and that way you can see what this processor is exactly going in. And this closet is just insane. Man. Okay. Here it is, guys. This is it. Hopefully the camera clears up here. I think I gotta walk in front of it because it's somehow, there we go. Okay, beautiful. So, this is it. Gigabyte Aorus Z890 Master. One of the best motherboards you can personally get when it comes to a PC. Now, when it comes to the Aorus Master, it has some of the great, wonderful features, especially if you're trying to take advantage of PCI Express 5. Obviously, you want to take advantage of that with a RTX 50 series card. Now, with the RTX 50 series card that we will be using in this is thanks for Gigabyte sending us this, which, what's up, LSG? Great to see you in here. Glad to see you in action. Is right here. Now, if you guys don't know who LSG is, he is our wonderful moderator for Discord. What's up, Unreal? Great to see you. Now, this beast here is going to have the RTX 5070 Ti on this 270K. I'm really excited to see what the results bring up, because not only can we test out the GeForce RTX 5070 Ti, we do have another GPU that we do have pretty much lined up that we can actually test out to see how well this processor actually handles things. And again, if you guys aren't familiar to Intel just released this processor just roughly about a week ago, nearly a week ago. We tried to obtain it at Micro Center Live. Yes, I probably might do a little bit building depending on what it is, but I will be showing all the parts of the build, which I'm excited. I got a ton of parts here that I do want to show everybody who is unfamiliar with the build, especially who wasn't part of the whole Micro Center stream last week and missed it. But this is the Intel 270K, which is a wonderful and powerful processor from what I've been hearing. I love to test it myself so we can comparatively compare it to a 9800X3D. We will also, and I've been thinking of this, which I will put up a vote for you guys in a bit. Oh, you got it. Okay, nice. Oh, is it Cat 8 Ethernet cable? Oh yeah, let's do a build. I will get my What's up? What's up, Ernesto? So, hey, I'm in the process of buying a new PC, If I give you a list here in the comments, would you be able to give me? Yeah, sure. Feel free. Put your parts all in the comments. I'll be able to go over it the best I can. Now, for the Intel 270K, for those who are curious about it, it does contain up to 24 cores. Now, the 24 cores are going to be based on pretty much P cores and very little efficiency cores in this processor. It also has no 24 threads, so the meaning is 24 cores and 24 threads, since it has no real hyper-threading or no SMT. So that's actually going to be a benefit a bit more for those who are going to be using it for gaming. Now, if you're wondering about the clocks comparatively to the 285K, now they both have the same amount of cores and threads. Now there is a slight difference in it. Now when it comes to the standard clock, it's at 3.7 gigahertz. They actually both stand at 3.7 gigahertz, as the boost clock goes up to 5. Now it just slipped my mind. I believe it is 5.3, and I think the 285K is just slightly higher at 200 megahertz. I think it's 5.5. Then it's 5.7 for the 285K, so it's 200 megahertz higher compared to the 270K. So what's Ernesto? Yes, 2 months on Twitch. So hey, I'm in the process. Okay, so I'm waiting for Fathom to put up his wonderful parts, because I'm curious to see if he chooses to go 270K. Is anybody in here that uses that has a 270K pretty much ready to go? I know for a fact that Amir has his 270 pretty much all in his PC. So far, he's the only one that I've known that has messed with the processor so far. I don't know if he actually installed it, or if he still actually, I think he still has the 285K in. But if you have a 285K, obviously you don't need to upgrade to a 270K. It's not really an upgrade. It's to me personally, I believe it's going to be like a very small intermittent upgrade, especially if you are more of you use it for video and photo editing. The 285K would do much better, I believe, in my opinion. But again, I could be wrong. I'll have to see the benchmarks. I don't like to spoil it for myself to see how the numbers are. So Fathom says he has an AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D with an MSI MPG X870E Carbon Wi-Fi Arctic Freezer AIO Thermal Grizzly Cryo Sheets. Oh, that's awesome. You got some. That's a great choice, actually. Thermal Grizzly AM5 contact frame, and then the G-Skill Trident Z5 Neo 64 DDR5. Now, I'm assuming it's probably going to be CL36. That's been the most standard I've heard for a lot of people that's been getting ran today. So I would assume that everything that you selected is excellent, actually. The 9950X3D goes very well with MSI's X870E Carbon. I think that's a wonderful motherboard, one of my personal favorites, as most people know here into the chat, out of MSI's line. Now, of course, they do have the other type, they have other higher motherboards that you can get, like Godlike Gaming, but again, nobody has Godlike money. So, Carbon Wi-Fi is a solid choice. Arctic Liquid Freezer AIO, again, solid choice. So far, I gotta say, everything that you selected is excellent. Now, the only thing I do have to ask is your power supply and your solid state drive that you have. So, your 270K is being held at Micro Center, and they keep saying I have. Oh no, that's pretty funny. So I'm on the AMD. Hey, that's a great processor to go with. So if you guys are wondering, I got the mouse here to select and highlight your comments here. So the RTX 5080 Be Quiet Dark Power. Okay, there's a GPU. Be Quiet Dark Power, 13,000 watts. And I'm thinking of going to which M.2 to buy. I have half of everything already. So if that's the case, if you already have half of everything already, M.2, first Fathom, I have to ask, what is this PC build going to be for? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you doing more than just gaming? If you are, please let me know. And then I can give you a bit more insight on that. But most people can, honestly, in my opinion, even if you're into media, you can get away with M.2 drives that are PCI Express 4. They don't necessarily have to be PCI Express 5. Even though the pricing can be pretty close at times, especially now. I've seen pricing, and everybody that's been here has seen the pricing go quite up significantly. I mean, about $400 per terabyte. It's insane. SSDs are completely out of control when it comes to pricing. I do hope it has adjusted. I haven't checked it recently. That was on Wednesday when we last checked it. Buffering. Apologize for the buffering. Hopefully the internet clears up there. So I have a 285K, but I also have another computer. I was thinking about updating this one, but yeah. So you were thinking about updating it. The 912. I'm assuming I have to get that clarified there. So if you're thinking of updating, doesn't hurt only if it's absolutely necessary to update. So the X870E ROG versus the X870E Carbon Wi-Fi. So if you're to pick between the two, that's a great question. Now the difference between the two, they're very competitively nearly the same, identical. When it comes to the Ethernet ports, about 5 gigabits on both. They both have it. They both have USB-C by 40 gigabits. That was the requirements when it came to the new X870E boards. Now the difference is the M.2 drives are going to be a little bit different, but it's just going to have, I'd say, a little bit of difference when it comes to ASUS. ASUS has Nitro path tracing. Not path tracing. Now I'm thinking of NVIDIA. It actually has Nitro for the actual RAM. It's for better connections, pretty much like brushless. So that way when you sit the RAM in there, it has better contact and better speeds. So that way it doesn't have any type of like light scratching. Usually that happens when you install sticks of RAM. Now MSI has a little bit of different features on there. Of course, they have the Frozer technology when it comes to MSI. So it's good for cooler VRMs. I believe when it comes to the VRMs too, like between the two, I believe ASUS has a slightly more than the Carbon Wi-Fi. Again, that matters a bit more when it comes to the overclocking side. So if you're really pushing overclocking wise, of course, the ASUS is also the great option. Carbon is also a great motherboard. Again, they're very close, pretty much in specs. I'd say the other difference, I believe, is the whole USBs. I think there's a bit more availability when it comes to ASUS's. But again, it's already overkill as it is. So if you got the Carbon Wi-Fi, honestly, you wouldn't probably notice the difference. So which M.2s are you getting more than one money? Yes, it would be wonderful to know if you're getting more than one M.2. I would love to know that. Takuma. I think so too. It's insane how much money he spends. I can't fathom how much he spends on everything. What's up, Egyptian? Great to see you. Oh man, good luck. Good luck with your exam there. So I'm currently at 3D printing a micro Mac, and I'm going to be building it. Thoughts? Something like we build with the oldest parts, and we see what PC is the worst and which one. Okay, so Rhino, so if anything, just if you want to talk about the collaborations and everything, feel free to reach me out on Discord, or just go into the description box and send me, or even go onto Twitter or X, as you call it, and feel free to send me a direct message that way, or just send me an email with a lot more info, and then we can certainly talk about it a bit more there. So use CL36 6K, only ensure that the temps are normal under heavy stress. On RAM, okay. Let me see. Let me move this over just slightly. So, and there we go. Perfect. Now I got it how I want it. Okay, so it's mainly for gaming, and I also do Photoshop music production. So if that's the case, if you're consistently exchanging information between drives, then it's a great option to actually get PCI Express 5. Now, if you do get PCI Express 5 and not 2s, because you're consistently having media swapped out with each other, depending on how often you transfer, then you would have an advantage, especially if it matters on timing. Now, if your timing doesn't matter as much, and you can have a bit of patience to spare, PCI Express 4 is just going to be a little bit longer, obviously, but still very fast for most people out there. So if your work is very demanding, then PCI Express 5 has the advantage when it comes to transfer speeds. So it's oh, the i9, okay, 12th generation. So you have like a 12900K. That's what you meant. I got you, Tony. That's it. Again, I love the 12900K. Great processor. So you have a again, Alder Lake. And right. Okay, perfect. Perfect, Rhino. Let me see. And there's something right here I gotta add in. And I'm seeing from a distance what I gotta do here. Let me see. So if you guys wondered what I'm doing, I'm trying to get my YouTube connected properly too here. There we go. Perfect. And let me know if it buffers any. Don't mind this. You'll probably see this umbrella. I guess it's on this side. Or maybe it's actually from my stream light over there, which I could actually flip around in a bit since I'm not working up on that direction. So how would you say fitting that all inside of an NZXT H5 flow case, swapping the fans from the AIO side, mount it in front? Do you have any extreme? Yes, the H5 is actually a very decent case. Of course, it's a bit smaller compared to the larger ones like the H7 and the H9. Now the H5, very decent to work with, and also a decent case to actually fit. So with the AIOs, I have to remember the H5. It's been a little bit since I worked on one. If it's similar to the one I'm thinking of, if it's that same exact case, you shouldn't have any issues. On a 360 type of AIO, you should be pretty much fine. So here, let me get this out the way here. All right, perfect. And right now, I'm just about to introduce all the project pretty much all together. So of course, we have the Intel 270K. Of course, we got these products right here, which I'm about to show in a bit. So now the GPU, if you're curious, what is going into this PC build? It's going to be, thanks to Gigabyte, again, for sending this wonderful GPU. Gigabyte has sent over a RTX 5070 Ti. This RTX 5070 Ti is going to be combined with the power of, I almost said Alder Lake, because now I got Alder Lake on my mind. But with the combined with the Arrow Lake refetch with, again, the 270K. Now, I hear it's very competitive against its competitors, which is against the AMD 9800X3D. And I am also really curious about this whole 9950X3D too, to see how well that performs with the dual Vcache. Again, that's in a couple weeks, so maybe we touch base with that. That's something I want to talk with you guys about to see what you think about putting that in. What's up, Hash? Great to see you. I'm thinking about doing that with the Project Metal, which is here on the side, which, again, all we need is the processor for that build as well. So, if you're familiar with the Gigabyte, not just Gigabyte, but NVIDIA's RTX 5070 Ti, it features the GB203 graphics, and it features up to 16 gigabytes of G7. So this is a great middle ground for anybody out there. And it's like closer to the 5080, so it's very competitive on that end. So if you have a little bit of money or a little bit less money than the 5080, obviously the pricing does matter a lot nowadays, as much as the 5070 can be quite expensive. The 5070 Ti can be at $1,000 at its lowest. You may get lucky and find it under $900 if it is used. But unfortunately nowadays, in order to get a 5070 Ti, you got to spend at least $1,000 or more. So do you think the ASUS Astro 5080 would fit in a H5 with the AIO radiator mounted in the front? I think, so that card actually, the 5080 Astro, it's quite a large card, but I don't believe it's going to be large enough. It's more thicker than actual not width, the actual height of it. It's actually much more, that should actually fit, I believe, thinking of it. Of course, you can set it up vertically as well if you would like. That is also an option for you, or horizontally, I should say, the GPU. That H5 does give you the option, I remember, to do that as well. But of course, you would have to get the riser cable to do so. But I believe it would fit. But again, I can double check the specs a little bit later, and I can definitely share it with you. But I remember, if I remember correctly, it should be able to fit in there. It might be a little bit snug, but it should be okay in a case like that. So for the 5070 Ti, that is going in there. We're building also with the Z890 Wars Master, which is right here. This is originally came out with Arrow when it first released, so this was meant for the 265K and the 285K, but it does also work with the 270K and the 250K. So if you are thinking of getting a motherboard such as this, you certainly do have that option. They do have a refresh line you can take a look at if that is if you want to have be sure of. Now, a tip I do have to say is if you do install a newer processor into a motherboard such as this, because this motherboard came out prior to that processor, you will certainly need to do a BIOS flashback in order for it to work correctly. Otherwise, you may not boot. If it doesn't boot, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. That's normal. It shouldn't boot, technically, because again, the BIOS is not up to date. But once you do get the update to the BIOS, it should be pretty much good to go. Now next, same motherboard, although the Z890 and the same, yes, exactly. You called it, Wasabi. Pretty much the same parts here. And Lee's, again, this is the Hydro Shift 2 LCDS here, which is right here. Let me get that into the camera view. This is actually going to go into the Lee 217 LAN pool case. I would throw that up here too, but obviously it's a large case. Pretty much block my face throughout this whole stream. If that's the case, if I had that up here immediately, but obviously we can start with the motherboard first and install the processor, usually like how I do it. Usually that's how I will start my builds then. So, well, thanks for the reinsurance. I spent multiple months planning. Now I'm buying in the buying phase. The only parts left are the cheaper ones, apart from the RAM. But yes, so at least you were able to do so. Let me see. Let me get my mouse up there. Yes. I'm glad that was the case. That is the case. RAM has certainly dropped. Obviously, if you have M.2, hold on to it. It's very expensive right now. If you go check it out, it will make you throw up. That's how bad the pricing is. Oh, also, if you're curious, this does have up to 2,600 RPMs of fan speed. Works great, again, with your Lee cases. Which I can't wait to introduce to you guys. Of course, I got that video a bit more in depth. If you can feel free to check that out if you're curious about the Lee LAN-cooled 217 INF. Same thing with the I haven't done the Gigabyte RTX 5070 Ti in depth quite yet, but I've done the Z890 in depth. So if you want to, feel free to check those videos out as well. If you want to learn about more of those products, I do have them. Now, of course, we got the Lee Edge 1000G. We ended up picking this out at Micro Center. And this power supply will certainly be beefy enough to be able to handle a RTX 5070 Ti and also be able to handle a 270K along with all the other parts here. Now, all I have to do is show you what's next, which is what kind of RAM and what type of SSD that we're going to end up going with on this PC build here. Now, this is actually inside my toolbox here. Here we go. So thanks to Adara, who are also the makers of XPG. They were able to send us the RAM, which is going to be 32 gigabytes of 6,000 megahertz, which is at CL38. So it is a bit, has a bit more latency to it, which is okay. Again, we're going to test it to see if it matters a great deal, especially if you compare it to, say, CL30, CL32, even CL38. And, but thanks to XPG at Adara for sending this, because this is going to end up in the wonderful Project Aorus build. So Hey, I emailed you. The subject is collab Rhino. Email starts with Young. Yeah, no problem. So, what is your experience with the AMD AM5 contact frames? If you use them, honestly, I've never used the contact frames. Of course, this is more of the optional route. You can certainly use the contact frames. Some people swear by that it can get you a bit better when it comes to temperatures because of it. Of course, if you do use it, it's a bit better for the thermal paste side. Most people originally why it came out too was the reasons for it for the seepage of the thermal paste. Some people would have the seepage go onto the sides of it because of the openings, but using the contact frame will certainly help on that aspect. But just putting it on, it shouldn't be again too difficult to use the contact frames. Again, it's a more of an optional thing. But if you did make your mind in order to use one, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually a lot of people use contact frames now when it comes to PCs, which actually honestly reminds me, I should do a video based on temperatures wise. Just see how much of a difference it would make out of a contact, having a contact plate compared to a one without one. So, and the SSD that we do end up using. Thank you for subscribing, Fathom. I do appreciate it. We do have XPG's Mars 980. If you're familiar with the Mars 980, it is a very, very fast NVMe. This goes up to about 13 to 14,000 megabytes per second when it comes to read and write speeds. This is going to be quite a monster. Usually when you have a 1 gigabyte one, it's actually a little bit quicker in speeds. Of course, the life expectancy isn't as long compared to the larger models that are 2 to 4 terabytes here. Weenie, great to see you. Hopefully you got to enjoy that whole collaboration video with the whole, well, not collaboration video, I should say, but more of that reaction video of the whole tornado. But these are going to be pretty much all the parts that are going in together for that build here. Now, of course, I got my camera pretty much ready to go, and I have my setup pretty much set to go right here. So all I have to do is grab my mic and have that set up for the camera, as I'm excited to introduce more about it. Now, my studio is just a mess. I got everything everywhere, just because of how hype I was to do this build. And as many of you know, I know all of you are really excited to see this get done here. So, of course, a build cannot go or coexist without tools. So we need tools. Now, the tools that I personally like to use. Now, you do have iFixit sets. Makes it 10 times easier when you have everything here. Pretty much ready to go for a PC build. Everything's more manually hand tightened that way. Now, of course, we can use drills and everything. Not everyone has a drill. Yes. So to show you what that kit looks like, looks something like this. It just is pretty much like you have your driver, and of course you have your bits. So it looks something like that. It's quite a nice set. And this is all, again, from iFixit. Yes, a hammer just in case. You need a hammer to make sure that you get good contact for the CPU to the motherboard. You gotta get it just right. You gotta get it nice, and you know you get it right once you hear like a light crack. All right, so we have that pretty much ready to go. Another thing I have to do is, which slipped my mind, the mic. I gotta have the mic for the camera. Let's see. Where is that mic at? And you see what I mean? I got everything everywhere here. Yes. Literally a banger. Literally a banger. So I get this pretty much set up. I like to use the wireless mics like when it comes to my camera here when I do these type of PC builds. Get this pretty much on my cage here. Oh, that's right, because I got this thing on. One thing I'm always guilty of is leaving these magnetic clips on. And when you leave these magnetic clips on, then you can't use the shoe of the camera. So always remember to take them off if you use wireless mics. And these are always fun to take off. There we go. Perfect. Yes, thank you, Steve. Yeah, we're gonna definitely, if you guys are curious about any specific tests, especially on an Intel build, feel free to let me know. Because I know there's a lot of AMD users out there. I myself use pretty much all AMD, even on this stream. PC is pretty much an AMD PC. Again, Intel's great. Intel's a great CPU. Of course, you probably hear a lot of bad things about them, especially for what happened past in the 9th and 10th generation, especially. But they've improved quite drastically, and they were actually one of the first ones that actually introduced PCI Express 5 into the consumer market. Let's see. So we got that pretty much ready to go. Get this plugged in. There. And of course, get my mic hooked up. I use both I am on the 5070 Ti 16 gigabytes tonight. Awesome. Man, but I gotta tell you, man, this whole PC side of things, like especially when it comes to NVMe's, it's quite crazy. I can't believe how expensive M.2s have gotten here. Okay, so now you guys will get to see what it looks like kind of behind the scenes here. I use both. I am on. All right, let me get this. Perfect. Got that into frame. Got myself here. Make sure we get the lighting just right. That's definitely key. FSR 4.1. Yeah, I heard it's quite the improvement. No, this one's actually just going to be a build directly for the channel, more like the test rig. Forget that Micro Center is selling 2 terabytes. Oh gosh. Tell me how it makes sense that they're selling 1 terabyte for $400. How does that make any sense at all? There we go. I think I'm pretty much lined up. Only bad thing is when, one of the more annoying things is when it comes to cameras here, is that you have to make sure that the exposure's just right. Otherwise, it comes out looking really odd and weird. And that's what I don't want. So I haven't tried it. I don't use... Oh, really? The Samsung 870 EVO SATA SSD reads up 560 megabytes per second, writes up to 500. Oh, yeah. That's more of the SATA version. SATA's still great. If you have a SATA drive, it just works just as good. Even though, like, of course, they have faster ones out there, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, you won't notice the speed difference, especially in gaming. I mean, even if you have a hard drive, you won't notice the difference, except if you're loading in an OS and, of course, doing your typical task on OS. But if you're gaming on a hard drive, you will not notice the difference. This has the 4 terabyte. The Clev. How's that been holding up, by the way? I was playing Resident Evil 9 with full ray tracing at 1440p. Oh, that's awesome. I love that game, man. I gotta go through a second round. I haven't used my points yet because this isn't a spoiler, just to let you guys know, but at the end of the game, they award you points, and it's up to you what you want to do with those points. And I'm still very undecided what to do with my points on Resident Evil. Maybe if I do the second playthrough, I'll certainly get on stream about that. And you guys let me know what kind of points I should use on it. Just out of curiosity, I would love to hear what you guys think. Okay, so I got my camera pretty much up and ready. So I'm just about ready to get this pretty much intact and filmed here. Now the difference is now I gotta make sure my, let me put this over here because I can't see it. The life of adjusting things. Let me see. So right now I'm just adjusting my camera. Oh, hopefully that didn't shut off. What happened to my sound? I think I hit the wrong button there. Let me see. There we go. Now it's on. Yeah, I don't use ray tracing either, but if I did, I would definitely need FSR frame generation. It's pretty crazy. Let's see, bring that up some. Hopefully that's right. It's gonna be hard to see from that distance. And that's at, looks like 1.3. So I just need it slightly brighter. Now I can also use my phone to connect to this, but sometimes it's a bit not quite perfect, but I think I got it. The white balance exactly how I want it. And be right back, guys. Apologize for that, guys. All right, now I'm about to get to work here. So, of course, all we need to do is get the PC case outside of the closet here. But maybe I grab it afterwards because I got so much on it. It's crazy. The 5060 Ti 16 gigabytes was $430 retail price. So it's an ASUS dual. All right, awesome. All right, so let me get, without further ado, I'll get started on this, get my camera connected on here. Let's see. And then that way, I don't have to consistently walk back and forth and start recording. Operate my camera. Oh, well, and I got an update. So thank you everybody for who's coming in. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream so far. If you are, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as we will be talking about PC builds, especially Intel. Especially for the Intel guys that are excited for it, because I know you are. I'm definitely really curious to see what's even upcoming in the next generation. But so far, it seems like they have been really solid so far. Perfect. Looks like I got everything up and ready. Looks like it. Perfect. And there. Awesome. We have the Intel 270K in hand. Really excited to share this with you, FanBam, as this is the new processor that is dropped by Intel that is supposed to be one hell of a monster, especially up against something like the 9800 X3D, maybe the 9850 X3D, and even the upcoming 9950 X3D too. So when this PC builds all together, we will certainly run some tests to see exactly how well this holds up. Now, if you're curious about these specifications, the specifications for the 270K has 24 cores and 24 threads. Now, it does not have hyper-threading. It does not need to use SMTs, which are actually a good thing. This is more of an advantage, especially for those who are PC gamers. So if you are into PC gaming and also into doing things such as media creation, or if you're more of a content creator, this might actually be a great processor option for you. Also, if you're curious about the clocks and speeds about this, now when it comes to standard clocks, it's at 3.7 gigahertz, very similar up against the 285K. 285K also does have up to 24 cores and also has 24 cores and 24 threads. Most importantly, when it comes to the boost clocks, this has 5.5 gigahertz compared to 5.7 gigahertz. So it's about 200 megahertz slower, specification-wise, compared to the 285K. And everything else that will be in this upcoming build as well is going to be Lee's. I know this one's a random one, guys, but the 1000 EG, the EG1000G. Mixing up my words here, just getting a little bit too excited, especially that we have this PC build pretty much coming all together. Now, this is a gold rated power supply, great for up to 90% power efficiency, and is based on a single rail system, which is obviously going to work really well with the Lee 217 land cool case, which is the INF. The infinity mirrors almost looks like a boombox, as some may say. So the next thing that I will show you guys is going to have the SATA, not SATA. Now I'm thinking SATA, guys, over on the stream, just because we were talking about the 970. But anyway, this is actually thanks to Adata for sending these components, these PC hardware, which is going to be the PCI Express 5 XPG Mars 980. This has incredible speeds up to 13,000 to 14,000 megabytes per second. So this is going to be a great addition, especially if you're trying to use it for, say, PC gaming. But again, you don't need those extreme speeds. This is great for transfer rates. You can always go PCI Express 4 if this is a bit costly, as we do know with the PC hardware side. Now, they did also provide us, again, thanks to Adata, they sent us this wonderful kit, which is 6,000 megahertz of 32 gigabytes of CL38s, which will be combined with Intel's 270K. Now, you're probably curious to see how well that's going to combine, especially on a PC today. Of course, as you know, anything under CL38 would be pretty much magical to get, especially because of how hard it is to get RAM and how expensive it is. But luckily, it is slowly dropping because, I mean, yeah, going back on the SSD front, we've seen SSDs get expensive as $400 for 1 terabyte, which is insane. Now, with the PC, now with the CPU cooler here, we do have Lee's AIO right here, which is the HydroShift 2 LCDS. I got so many coolers on my mind, but we ended up going with the HydroShift 2, which is going to be a great addition. It's going to be pretty much a Gigabyte and Lee build put together with some XPG love on it. And we also got the Z890. You guys might be actually familiar with this, especially for those who are part of the channel, knows exactly how long it's been in the waiting. I got this thing backwards. The Z890 Aorus Master. This is actually over on your left a little bit. Oh, Oh, is it? I like that cooler. Awesome. I'm glad you guys are liking it. We have this monster, one of the best gigabyte motherboards you can get when it comes to Intel's system here. And of course, the favorite, you have to have a GPU when it comes to your PC. This is pretty much the main ingredient to make your PC into really a true gaming rig or the content creation rig that you would want. And thanks to Gigabyte, they sent us this wonderful RTX. That was a little bit hard to turn around, guys. The RTX 5070 Ti. Now, this is going to be great, especially for those who are looking to have top-notch performance when it comes to your PC without spending $3,000 or $4,000 on a GPU. You always are welcome to spend that type of money if you'd like, but not many people have $3,000 or $4,000 just laying around. Now, luckily, you can get a GPU like this that's still at a pretty affordable price at the minimum of $1,000 to $1,100. Now, of course, if you can't afford something like this, they do have other great options. You can even go, again, 9070 XT as another option, as Gigabyte also makes some great GPUs for them. So that's week you should have went with the 6090 Ti Super. Who would have thought, with the HBM4? So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do first is we're going to open up the motherboard. So we're going to set everything here to the side because we got to give us a little bit of room without having so many PC hardware just laying all over the place. So I'm going to sit this right here. As we get the wonderful Z890 just sitting here. And of course, these I'm going to keep out because these are also what I like to install while the motherboard is out of the case. Now, of course, if you have something that is more of a fan CPU cooler, you can also feel free to install it, as it's a lot easier to install out of the case here. So let's put this to the side. We got the 270K sitting here ready to go. And there we go. I think we're good. And oh yeah, gotta mention this, guys. Yeah, we're almost to that point to where you can build a PC toolless. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Thanks to, well, I can't really thank iFix. I actually bought the kit myself. But I really thank iFixit for making this kit because it definitely makes it a lot easier for those who like to build PCs. So I would say go with the iFixit kit if you can. Of course, there are other options. You can go with the standard screwdriver if it's much easier and much more affordable. You can buy it as low as $2 or $3 at a Home Depot, or even at Lowe's, depending on what you have around you, or even at a tech store. But if you have a little bit more money to spare, get an iFixit kit. Makes it so much easier. But again, not every single tool is going to be provided. It seems like sometimes when you get some of these larger, wider PC models, this doesn't quite reach. So it's nice to have a longer driver when it comes to installing into your PC. So now let's open this up, because it's been a little while. Thank you for following. Love to see you on the Twitch end there. So we're going to open this wonderful Gigabyte Z890 Aorus Master, as it's been dying to get inside of a PC build, and deservingly so. Now we're going to take this wonderful beast out. I'm so glad we decided to keep it, to be honest. I almost ended up getting rid of it because I thought, let's just do another AMD build, but I feel not everybody wants to continuously see AMD, especially for you Intel lovers out there, because I know you guys are out there. We all are hoping that Intel certainly does make a comeback, especially for these wonderful prices. Again, for the Intel 270K, you can actually get it as low as $320 currently. Now, when they originally debuted the card, They actually had it for $300, but then it went up as high as $350 when it first released because of allegedly there's a shortage of CPUs as well. But if you do want to get your hands on it, they do have it available on Newegg, which I will have the links right down in the description box down below. Now, let's go and I'll show you what's inside. Of course, you have the wonderful optional coolers that they have, which is pretty dope. They also have the ARGB extenders plus SATA ports, and there's actually a RAM cooler if you want to throw that on, especially if you're overclocking RAM here. So, a MacGyver build, some will know who he is. Alright, so I'm going to flip this open. Flip this closed, and then we're going to sit the motherboard right on top of this. Now let's get this out the ESG bag here. Don't you love the sound of the crunchiness of new products here? Now it's finally going into something. And I'll put that right there on the side. So now, let's take a look at this thing. All right. Now this is when I take a nice little water break, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, watching this go to action. Project Metal is actually a whole different project, which I will introduce in another stream for you guys. Project Metal is going to be based a bit more on the AMD side. This is going to AMD's more of, now this is pretty tough because it's supposed to be a bit more of a budget build when it comes to Project Metal. But now I'm kind of on the fence of thinking of going with a 9950X3D too to see how well it lasts. See if it actually burns in the motherboard. Because I'm sure a lot of people are curious if that's going to actually happen. If it does, I'm sure you would like to know. But this is an ASRock B850 Wi-Fi 7. So we're either going to go with, there's actually a list. Now some want a 9700X, some want a 9800X3D, not a 9800X3D, but a 9850X3D. Pretty similar CPU, so I get them easily mixed up. And then, of course, you have the new 9950X3D too. So if you are curious, feel free to let me know and talk amongst the wonderful fan bam to figure out which processor should really go into that PC build. I'd rather burn for you. Exactly. So I kind of figured that it would be best if I burn it before someone actually buys it. And if they do, at least they know what can possibly happen. But I hope and I have a lot of faith ASRock will try to prevent that from happening. We will see. They consistently have been updating their BIOS here. But if you guys are curious about a 9950X3D2 going in there, feel free. I would love to test it out. But if it ends up well, I'd be happy for it. I would honestly be ecstatic. But if it burns, then that's going to make a video for sure. Okay. And now I got to do all my fancy type of camera work angles and everything onto the motherboard. You can see the whole action behind it. Let's see. Now I got to get my attachment for the camera. I know a lot of people don't like those consistent updates, and as you guys know, I don't like to consistently upgrade to the newest firmware because you're always unsure if it's actually going to work out well. Because sometimes there's always kinks in it. I mean, you take a look at NVIDIA when they push out their updates. Obviously, it can work great, and then they have times where they're just complete ass. Let's see. We'll take this off. And this goes with, now I'm not just picking on NVIDIA. This happens to pretty much, this can happen to anyone. This can happen to any brand. I mean, we've seen it throughout just time and time again. Get that on there. Make sure that's locked. And I already got to switch batteries soon. Let me switch batteries now. before they end up dying here. So I updated my internet driver and it seems to do much better. Awesome. Yeah, and that's a big thing, you know. We were talking about this actually. Oh, thanks for subscribing over on Twitch. Certainly appreciate it. And if you guys don't know, I am also on the Twitch side. I'm glad you guys are finding out about the Twitch channel. And let's see. Gotta get the big boy. So take a look at the different batteries I use. You got like double the size on one. So I like to put the bigger battery into the camera. I mean, just look at that. Let's see. But so this one has to get charged. And don't forget, your batteries have to be powered by the AMD Ryzen 7. That's what I use them for. I usually flag the battery to let me know if it's dead. So I'll flip it up just to say if it's dead. So if I see the sticker is up, I'll know the battery needs to get charged. So that's my telltale sign for it. So hook that up. And, ooh, gotta get that a little bit tight. And switch out this battery. And these are pretty dope. I got the dead stickers. I got literally dead stickers for the batteries right here. So I'll know immediately if it needs charging. Like this one, I know for sure we'll need it. I'm using a Cat 8 cable braided. Oh, really? I'm really curious to see how that looks like. You know, a big thing some people have been really getting into, and I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, is the wireless HDMI cables. Yeah, they actually have wireless HDMI cables. So you can actually get very decent signal on them. And I would love to check them out. That's something that I've been wanting to look. Yeah, you know, that's exactly what I use for this camera right here. The one that I use for the stream, I use a dummy battery. I should get a dummy battery for my actual camera too. But I do agree. I should get a dummy battery. The only thing that bothers me about them though is that I'm always attached to something. Because I mean, look at this thing. I'll show you like how the camera I use goes. Or it looks. You see how massive it is? So, and then plus I would have to hook up another wire to it. So, oh, let me see. That's secure. I'll flip this around. And one of the trickier shots I always have is having the camera overhead on top of the motherboard here. So this is going to be an Intel build. For everyone that's curious, that's coming in. It's a 270K that we managed to pick up. That's what we're going to end up building. Definitely excited to see how well it performs, especially up against the AMD build. So we're going to have an ASRock build and plus a Gigabyte Horse Master. I'm sure everyone out there has their preferences. PC gaming, as you know, for 2026 is now very expensive. It's very crazy expensive now, especially if you go for SSDs. I mean, I haven't quite looked it up. I mean, if anyone, feel free to look this up. I'm curious because I haven't got to check the price on the Mars 980. Let me know what you've found, especially today. Again, a great SSD to use. Hopefully they have an awesome deal for it. ADATA is actually a great option to go. Oh, I think so too. I think it's gonna be great. Oh, that would have been nice if you feel free to donate. Feel free to donate to me, Tony. Feel free to donate. I'll send you the address. How's that sound? Okay, so let's see. So now, if you're curious, I'm just filming the motherboard here. And man, just look how massive that heatsink is. So now, I'll just go like this. One more shot right there. Perfect. Right there. Okay. There's the B-roll. I'm on AM4 with a 5700X, 32 gigabytes of DDR4, and in December bought a 5060 Ti, 16 gigabytes of 369.99. So I am very lucky and thankful for. Hey, exactly. Be grateful for what you have. I remember there was a time in my life where I didn't even have a PC anymore, and I was always thinking like, am I ever gonna have a PC again? Like, and I've always was interested in PC builds because there was that weird period where I was just more about worried about going out and having fun, and I actually stopped like gaming for a while. Uh, it's so when I stopped, the camera setup is more than the PC. It is a very expensive setup. Uh, but yeah, I stopped gaming for a while, and then I ended up just like selling off like a lot of my PC parts like originally, and then when I got back into it, like about like 2 or 3 years after, then I ended up uh wanting to get a PC again, and then eventually I was able to get the money to finally get a PC, and I ended up getting a pre-built temporarily like for 8 months, and then I ended up building my own PC afterwards. But I have a 5800 XT with the 7900 XT with 32 gigabytes of DDR4. Man, it's a again that's a it's still a great GPU. It's still widely used at the minimum. I mean, take a look at Forza Horizon 6 specifications. It's still a very good GPU to have. Absolutely, Tony. Yeah, I had Latic, my old build with the 5070 Ti, but now I'm fortunate to come up with a Player 3 and ZXT. I have 4 pieces. That's insane, Steve. I had no idea you had that many. Now, here's the tricky part. I may have to take down one of my lights to get this shot nice and clear, which is going to be installing a processor. Let's see. So, when you're filming and building, it is quite, you gotta quite multitask here. There we go. There we go, and I'll record it just like this. Another B-roll shot. Actually, I gotta film one more thing before I actually install the processor, because I gotta take the actual processor outside of the box to show everybody. Now, this is the moment you guys can actually get to see it. 2 AMD PCs and 2 NVIDIA PCs. So I too was fortunate to get graphics cards cheaper before, and the prices went up. Oh man. And now I used to have a tripod on my desk and camera pointing down for PC builds. I had to fit my setup underneath. Yeah, yeah. If you got, I wish I could flip around the camera. In fact, maybe I'll do that another time. I'll do it like on a like on another stream, like while I'm doing this type of stream, and put it into like a TikTok stream, so you can see like how the stream looks like from that specific angle. Let's see. And Jonah's just chilling. He's like just chilling under the desk. He's enjoying it because he was there to retrieve the whole 270K, even though he's not a retriever. Let's see. There we go. There we go. And now, take this off. Perfect. Now I'm just connecting back to the camera here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on this. And actually, what I should have done is like pretty much pre-cut the box. But I can get my knife out. Let's see. There you go. All right, so let's go ahead. Without further ado, once again, get started back into filming again. So, of course, with the Gigabyte Z890, of course, best of my take. There we go. Now I gotta repeat it again. Now, with the Gigabyte Z890 Aorus Master, we have, of course, the Intel 270K right here in the box. So we're gonna rip this open so we can check out the actual processor. Now, with the processor here, let's see. We just gotta cut this open. Break that wonderful factory seal and actually get to check out this processor out the box here. Now, it's pretty minimalistic. Look how small the box is. I'm actually quite surprised how small of a package this actually came, because I'm so used to Intel giving you that extra premium box. I mean, I have the wafers where they actually came in, which gave it that premium feel. But I get why they did it. It makes a little bit more sense, especially if you're trying to cut on cost. Most importantly, trying to give you more bang for your buck, which is the most important thing. And when it comes to the hardware, it has quite a bit of weight to it, of course. Yes, Z-Man, this is actually the anticipated build. So, of course, here is a D270K right there. And there is, guys, hopefully you guys can see that nice and clear. I know it's in its plastic casing, but here's the D270K. And we're going to actually throw this processor in. So if you guys want to take a look at it, yeah, that's pretty good. How long you been into computers? Is there something that you just picked up? You've been doing? Yes. Sure. Sorry. Okay. I seen one of your streams and it kind of caught my. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. No, it's cool. Do you, brother? Okay, so now the 270K is right here. This is it, guys. And we're going to throw this into the PC. So hopefully that is nice and clear into the camera. And there it is, guys. Here I am showing two different cameras here. But we are going to get a nice close angle of installing this processor. And again, it's really easy to install it. All you have to do really is just follow the notches. And if you notice on the processor here, they typically have an arrow for the Intel 270K Plus, specifically on the left-hand side. So we're going to get a closer look at the processor so you guys can definitely take a look at it. All right, so let's go ahead here. And we're going to move the camera up over there into the stream. And we'll get a nice close look of the installation. Man, I wish I could just easily just switch cameras. Because over there, it's probably going to be very difficult to see. Okay. So we'll throw this back into the side here. Perfect. And now we just got to move this camera. Now we can finally get the whole close-up action of installing it. But like I was saying, so what, you've always been into computers, or yes, for a very long time. I've been into it since, let me see, probably, I would say roughly about like 98. So almost like 18 years, roughly. It's been quite a long, no, 28 years actually. It's been a real, very long time. Let's see. We're gonna get this up here. We're actually probably get a C stand. I'm probably gonna have to do it that way. Drop this down. You might be able to see that angle, right, guys? See the camera in action? Fortunately, I got to have the monitor face me here, and we're going to zoom in. Now the challenging part. Now I got to figure whether if I want to actually put it up in the desk. Let me see if I can do that. Maybe use the same tripod if I can. Just attempt it. And then I gotta like put a sandbag on the tripod for it to hold. Yes, definitely something you're into. I know. I think about it now. When I was first playing my PC game, it was Arcanium from that point, and I knew I was into. Oh yeah, it's funny too because the first game. I played so many random games as a kid, but the first real game I played was back in my aunt's PC. And she actually had Pac-Man installed in it. And this was with Windows 3.1. I was a little kid when I played it. And she was like the first one in my family to have a PC. So I remember being amazed by it. And when our family finally had one, of course we had like those typical Windows game PC games, which was like Space Cadet and Free Ski and what was it, Pipe Dream, all those games that we ended up having. And then eventually it got like really into things like Doom. That's funny. It was my dad's PC too. Laugh out loud, but yeah, you know, if you got this, since you're like joining in for the first time, you probably didn't hear this before, but the way I got my father, how I tricked my pop like into buying a PC, was that I told him I needed it for school because like the PC wouldn't be able to do the work I needed, and I got him to buy a GeForce, my very first GeForce card, and it was I think it was the 60, it was a 6700 at the time. And that was like an amazing card. I remember it was like $400, but back then that was like expensive, like especially for a PC, a component. But he ended up getting it, and at the time it was CompUSA, and he said, and the guy said that this is a really good PC GPU, and I'm just like, man, I hope this guy's like doesn't say too much off of it because I didn't want him to scare my father off, but luckily, he didn't really hear him out, so to say. So he ended up still getting that GPU. Let's see. Now I gotta get a sandbag. There we go. Get that lined up. Oh, it always feels scary to have like something like this. You have an expensive camera over some PC hardware, and you're worried that it's gonna freaking fall. Probably not the best way to do this. Because this is too low to hang. It's probably good to really tie it, you know? And I got like so little room to play with. It looks sketchy, right? It was the 6600. Because I think phones ringing now, it's your dad. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, the crazy thing is they just released that whole Resident Evil, the regular original series that was originally on GOG, and now it's on Steam. You can actually get the original ones, but they just added the whole DRM to it. Yeah, 256 megabytes was amazing back then. That was top notch. Like if you had that, you knew you were good. Man, I remember like I was gaming on the Intel graphics, and it was like 32 megabytes. So now we're like on all the way at 32 gigabytes. It's such a large jump, like from where we came from. But that was again integrated graphics. It's kind of comparing dedicated graphics. And before, like 128 was like a decent one. That's what you would want in a GPU. Like 256 was like that. Like that was double. We always go double, like when it comes to graphics. Let's see. The shake test. All right. I think we're solid. And definitely pray for the best here. Now, get this facing up here. And get that. Resident Evil 4 Remake is... Oh, really? In download size. All right. Make sure we got the right ISO here. Perfect. I think we are sound here. And now I am ready to go. I apologize out there if you guys can't really see the angle, but it's going to look wonderful once the video is out. My screen is chopped up on YouTube, but not on Twitch. Oh, really? Oh, I wonder why. That's so weird. Oh, you know why? Give me a second, guys. Let me stop recording. I have an idea why. I got this light here. I'll spin it around. Is it this one? Or it's probably this, right? It's the actual light. That's probably cutting it out right here. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I apologize if it's getting in the way, but let me raise this up. There we go. How's that, guys? That's probably a bit better, I would think. At least the light will be a lot more clear here. But if it's still chopped up, let me know. Like, where's it chopped up at exactly? Is it... Since I moved everything, did it clear up the camera a little bit at least? It's like the short in shorts. Oh, really? Oh, it's that chopped up? So it looks like a short video. That is weird. That is odd. It's like in shorts and... I wonder why it's doing that. Let me see. Now you definitely piqued my attention here. I just gotta grab my mouse, and you got me. Yeah, the YouTube is like audio desyncing. You know what, guys? What I'll do is I'm gonna turn off the vertical YouTube stream. And you guys, unfortunately, so right now I'm just checking to see if it's okay. Okay, I see. So I'm going to turn off the vertical stream just to make sure we got a decent connection here. And it should be good then. So if you get cut off, I apologize. You just have to go into my YouTube channel and go live. And go to the one that's non-YouTube short. So I'm going to cut off the one that is YouTube short style.